All right, guys, we are going to look at one more problem together, and then we are going to go ahead and have you try one on your own. So again, we're going to go ahead and go through and follow the steps that we've been doing this whole time. So my first step here is I want to go through and see if I have any greatest common factors here, looking at all of my sections of my rational expressions here. So looking at this top part here, I'm just focusing on this, looking at, do I have a greatest common factor? And yes, I do. Okay, so looking at this top part, I have a greatest common factor of 6. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this down here. I have a GCF of 6. And so when I go ahead and divide this out, 6 divided by 6 gets me x squared minus, and then 384 divided by 6 gets me 64. All right, looking in my denominator, again, I'm focusing on my GCFs. Do I have any GCFs in the bottom here? Hopefully you're recognizing that 4 goes evenly into all of these. So 4 would be my GCF. And hopefully you're recognizing we don't share any x's here because this term right here doesn't have any x's. So my only GCF is 4. So looking at what's left over, I want to go ahead and divide. 4 divided by 4 gets me 1x squared minus 10x plus 16. All right, now we're multiplying here. Again, I want to focus on my GCFs. Do I have a greatest common factor here? Nope. So x squared minus 4, I can go ahead and leave that alone for now. Again, I'm just focusing on if I have a GCF. And then same thing, x plus 8. I don't have a GCF there. All right, now I'm going to go through. It's easiest if you kind of take this step by step, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to go through, can I factor anything? So we checked for a GCF. Now I'm going to go through and see, can I factor anything? So looking at this top part, 6 is going to stay the same, but let's take a look. X squared minus 64. I actually can factor this, and hopefully you're recognizing it's the same thing as x squared plus 0x minus 64. Okay, we're just missing that middle term. So what multiplies to get me negative 64? That adds to get me 0. And that would be negative 8 and positive 8. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as x minus 8, x plus 8. All right, take a look at our bottom. 4 is going to stay the same, but take a look at this quadratic right here. I know it's a quadratic because of this x squared. So I'm going to go ahead and factor this. If you want, you can write your t-chart off to the side, but I'm looking at what multiplies to get me 16. That will add to get me a negative 10. Don't forget about that negative. So this one would be x minus 8, so negative 8. And negative 2 is what would work for that one. Negative 8 and negative 2. All right, we are still multiplying here. And now I'm looking at x squared minus 4. Again, I can factor this one. Hopefully you're recognizing it's like x squared plus 0x minus 4. Okay, so what multiplies to get me negative 4? That will add to get me 0. That'll be x minus 2. X plus 2. So negative 2 and positive 2. And then x plus 8, I cannot factor this one because this is not a quadratic, and I know that because this is just a plain x. It's not x squared. So I'm going to go ahead and leave x plus 8 alone. All right, my third step is to look at, can I expand anything? Okay, so first step right here, I had GCF. That's what I looked for there. My second step was to look for factoring. Okay, and my third step is to look at, can I expand anything? So that means like x to the third, x to the fourth, anything like that. And I don't have anything. I have a bunch of groups and I have numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and go from here. Okay, so what can we now jump into where we can cancel? Now we're on step 3. Cancel top to bottom. So what's the same? So I've got x minus 8, that's the same. X plus 8 and x minus 2's that are the same. So I can go ahead and cancel those. And hopefully you're recognizing right here, this 6 over 4, we can reduce this. Okay, 6 over 4 can actually reduce to 3 over 2. I can reduce that fraction there. Okay, let's look at what else is left. So up top, the only other thing I have left is x plus 2. And in the bottom, I don't have anything left. And so this right here would be my final answer. As a reminder, you cannot cancel these 2's because x plus 2 is all one group. All right, guys, I'm going to give you one more problem here, and I want you guys to try this one on your own. Go through your steps, follow them, and see how far you can get here. So again, first double check, do I have a GCF? Go ahead, rewrite everything. Can I factor? Then go ahead, rewrite again. And then what can you expand or cancel? So go ahead and give this one a try. All right, guys, so hopefully you paused the video, gave yourself a second to try this, and let's go ahead and double check your work here. So piece by piece, I went through and I factored this and found our GCFs here. Okay, so x squared minus 64, I factored that and got x minus 8, x plus 8. 5 times x plus 7 squared. Hopefully you recognize something squared is like having 2 of them. So I rewrote this as 5 times x plus 7 times x plus 7. Hopefully you recognize here x squared minus 49 is the same thing as x squared plus 0x minus 49. So that can be factored into x plus 7, x minus 7. This bottom here, this trinomial, this one has a GCF. I have a GCF of an x squared. And then I got a quadratic here. From there, you can go ahead and then factor that quadratic. So what multiplies to get you 56, that adds to get you negative 15, x minus 8, and x minus 7. From here to here, all I did was I rewrote it again so that you could see the canceling a little bit easier. So I canceled my x minus 8s, my x plus 7s, and my x minus 7s to leave me with x plus 8 over 5 times x plus 7. And then that's how I got my final answer here. All right, guys, so again, only new step on these problems from last week, literally the only difference is sometimes you'll get some like this where you have to expand them into 2 groups. And sometimes you're going to get quadratics that you have to take a GCF out first and then factor. Okay, one important thing is to remember not to forget your x squared. And let's see, did anyone catch my mistake? Hopefully you're like, yes, Miss, I did. Yes, I did. X minus 8 and x minus 7. I wrote that here, but hopefully you recognized I made a common mistake here. I forgot x squared. X squared also has to go in here. X squared also has to go in there. So actually we're missing part of our answer. And if you forgot this GCF, that's a really big part of why you might be getting some of these problems wrong. So our actual answer here, guys, is x plus 8 over 5x squared times x plus 7. We forgot that GCF there. And hopefully you're like, oh, wait, okay, I did do this right. Hopefully you caught yourself and you didn't make that same mistake there and you caught that, okay? Don't forget those GCFs or else you're going to get that answer wrong. All right, guys, please let me know if you have any questions. I have office hours on Tuesday and Thursday from 11 till noon. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day.